What's up, guys? My name is Pete. Welcome to the channel. I just wanted to share my collection of a 2018 Porsche 911 Carrera T. Should be coming in tomorrow. We're all locked and loaded. Paperwork's all done. Uh, Fingers crossed. Been pretty shitty weather outside the last couple days. Super hot, sticky, humid, rainy. It's coming in from Houston. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have some car footage. Today, I just wanted to run you through the spec, kind of explain what the rationale was for the different options in preparation for tomorrow. Hope you enjoy this video. So one of the best aspects about getting a Porsche basically is the complete customizability of getting the vehicle and ordering it exactly to your specification. This is probably one of the most fun aspects and one of the most frustrating at the same time, because it really puts you en face with the reality of your budget. These are expensive cars. I decided to pull a trigger and make the sacrifice. I've wanted one of these since I was about 12 years old. It's not the easiest decision. I'm sure it'll be worth it at the end of the day, but I just want to walk you through the spec the way that I did it, and just keep in mind that obviously there's some budgetary limitations, but there is a correct way that you're supposed to specify the car. Most people would argue that it's one of the most purest models, so you're supposed to get things that decrease weight, increase performance. And there's obviously a lot of standard features that come on the Carrera T, things like the lightweight glass, reduced sound deadening. There's a special manual transmission with shorter gear ratios, stubby lever, short throw transmission. Also the Sport Porsche Active suspension management, which is about 10 millimeters lower than on the standard Carrera. But in general, I think the overall theme that I was going for, in addition to lower budget, is to maximize performance, basically get everything that I need, and basically nothing that I would actually want, because there's a lot of really sweet options that I think could put this car over the top, but then again put it into Carrera S range, Carrera GTS price brackets. Most people would argue you're supposed to leave off the sunroof. You're supposed to spec lightweight buckets. This is actually one of the only models, other than the GT cars, that you can actually, at least in the US, spec lightweight buckets. And obviously manual transmission, although it's not compulsory, is probably the most desirable way to specify the vehicle, and the cheapest. So without further ado, let's get into the spec a little bit. So the Carrera T has the base Carrera engine, 370 horsepower, 331 pound-feet of torque. Absolutely spectacular car. If you ever get the chance to drive one, I highly recommend it. The first option, with respect to the car, is the vehicle color. This is probably one of the areas where I think you get the most bang for your buck. You get the standard colors. Metallic colors are actually pretty cheap, only $720, relatively speaking. And then you got the 3150 for I think it's lava orange and Miami blue, which both look great in real life. But for me, the first time I saw GT silver was actually on a GT3, kind of pulling up through the service department. Just absolutely blew my mind. Plus, living in Chicago, it hides dirt and salt and stuff like that pretty well. So, one with the GT silver. Got the 20-inch Carrera S wheels, although they have these kind of Fuchs-looking wheels, throwback, which are very nice. They weigh a little bit more. Plus, for $1,370, I decided to go with a winter wheel set. One of the coolest options on the Carrera T is the interior package. What that gets you is it gets you striped fabric in either red, yellow, or silver. You also get the door pulls in a contrasting color, as well as contrast stitching probably about halfway up the cabin. And then there's these extended leather packages, which in real life are just kind of mind-blowing. They put stitching all the way up the dash, so you get a full leather dash, leather glove box. However, I decided none of this stuff makes the car go any faster, and it looks pretty nice, you know, with the standard interior, even though this is vinyl, so I decided to go with that. Next, I just stuck with the sport four-way seats. These are actually probably one of the best seats that Porsche makes. I also do like the full bucket seats. This is kind of two different schools of thought on these. Some people say you absolutely must get them if you can. I think it really depends on your body type. For me personally, I absolutely love them. But what ends up happening if you specify these is you lose the rear seats. You can't see it from here. I've got two little girls who are absolutely thrilled to sit in Daddy's 911 and feel the motor rumbling away. So stuck with the sports seats plus four-way. I don't think I'm going to regret this. Next, onto the exterior. You know, another thing that I decided to do, and some people might say it's a mistake, is because it actually looks pretty nice, is I actually deleted the Carrera T side decals. The reason for this is, you know, potentially I'm going to keep the car for a long time. I didn't know how the stickers are going to hold up with the winters in Chicago, so I decided to delete those. I did, however, leave the 911 Carrera T on the rear deck lid. There's a bunch of other really nice options that, you know, I thought about, like the bi-xenon headlights with the dynamic lighting system. One of the cool things about this is that you get the headlight housing in black. It kind of looks like nostrils a little bit to me, so I kind of left it off. I didn't get the tinted tail lights. Entry and drive is actually pretty convenient. This is another one I struggled with. I do like the, you know, throwback feel of putting your hand, you know, the key in the ignition and turning it. It's much more old school. The other thing is, every time I washed the car and the water hit the door handles, the damn thing would lock, unlock, start chirping. So it's actually going to be a little bit of a relief to not have that, especially since I'm probably going to wash this thing way too much. As I discussed, didn't get the sunroof. The Sport Design package is actually a pretty mean looking grill, but this thing is already low enough. You know, for 4,500 bucks, I felt like I could spend that on other necessities elsewhere. With respect to performance, I stuck with the 7-speed manual transmission. This gets you the shorter gear ratios from the Carrera S, shorter final drive, whereas if you get the PDK, you don't get the Carrera S final drive. And this was actually a sneaky option. I emailed Porsche and I never got a direct answer, but indirectly found out that with the PDK, you lose the standard limited slip differential and Porsche torque vectoring, which is kind of a brake actuated torque vectoring system. And for, you know, a rear wheel drive car in a city that has a winter climate, it's probably important to have, you know, maximum traction. The other thing I actually had to get, because my driveway kind of sucks, and you'll probably see it in the videos, the front axle lift system. Rear axle steering is only available on the Carrera T, even though it's kind of a base model. It's not available on the standard 911 Carrera. Test drove a GTS and Carrera S. The GTS had the rear axle steering. Absolutely blew my mind. Totally transforms the feel of the car, reduces understeer, just makes it feel more nimble. Obviously down the road it's another thing that can break, but I think it's made by ZF. They make pretty heavy duty parts. It's supposed to be rated for lots and lots of miles, so I'm not going to worry about it at this point. I did not actually get the wart on the dash. It does give you the track precision nav compatibility, but you know, if I'm going to ever hit the track, I'm going to use a 50 hertz GPS timer. There's a lot of different things out there that are probably more accurate than this app. Plus, I like the look of the clean dash. Carbon ceramics is another thing folks say kind of is a must-have on a base 911. Honestly, they all, you know, for the street stop approximately the same distance. Really, the ceramics and the big 6 pistons in the front, the main advantage is heat management on the track. This is mainly going to be a street car with occasional, you know, short sessions on the track, so I didn't opt for these $8,500 brakes. Again, on the interior, really the only thing I opted for was the heated multifunction steering wheel. Didn't get seat heating, ventilation, got the smoking package. You can't really, oh, you can see it here. It makes this flush with the console. And then didn't get any of the, instrument dials in different colors or stitching or anything like that. My steering wheel and manual lever are going to be in leather, not Alcantara. That changes when you, specify the sport buckets. And that's pretty much it. So enough boring stuff. Let's go get the car.